All right, everybody. We are getting ready to go live. Well, we are live. We're getting ready to journal in just a few minutes. Let me know in the chat if you are here on Facebook, or I know I can see Facebook, maybe Instagram, YouTube. I don't know. I can't remember. But let me know if you're here so I'll know I'm not all by myself. I've got my handy dandy markers. Last time I had this calligraphy set. Let me tell you what's going on with where's my calligraphy stuff go? I don't even have it in here. The I like the calligraphy set, but the ink was too light and too like bright. It doesn't really show up well on my paper. I'm like serious about my ink and like the writing, the paper. And I think that just comes from a lifetime of writing journals. For those of you whom I don't know well, I've been keeping a journal since I was 12 years old. At that time, my mother had a really bad car accident a few blocks away from our house. And, we didn't have, I guess there probably was therapy back then. I'm sure there was. There's always, psychology and psychiatry have been around for a minute. But yeah, I didn't know anything about that. And I don't know that my family did either. So we just kind of made do with what we had. And what we had at the time was not therapy. So I turned to journaling, and I'm so grateful for that because my mother, it took her about a year and a half, maybe even longer, to learn how to walk again and talk again, do all the stuff she had done before. And I'm thankful that journaling became my outlet. It became this place where God met me, and I just have enjoyed it. So I'm serious about my pens because this is part of my deliverance. All right. Good morning, Marcina. Good to see you. Good to see y'all coming on in here. I see that I got some more folks in the house. Let me know who you are so that I can make sure that I am praying for you during our time of journaling. I can't see on Facebook. Let me try to get my Facebook up, but that ain't really what I want to do. So I'm not going to even say that. You got to let me know in the chat if you're here. That way I can make sure that I am saying your name as well as we are praying. All right. So today is the day where we're going to be looking at, I promised y'all last week. Oh, by the way, I'm actually going to bust out with my digital journal today. This is another way that I journal. And I'm going to show it to y'all in just a second. I use a thing called Good Notes. And like I already put Marcina's name down here for prayer. But it's digital, right? So I can like jot down on my little thoughts and on my little notes right there on the paper and come back to it. So lots of different ways to journal. Hope you found your favorite way. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This week I promised you all we would look at 100 Days of Believing Bigger by Marshawn Evans Daniels. Yeah, this book is so inspirational. So it is fine. I don't know Marshawn. I don't have an Amazon affiliate link to share with you. I'm just telling you that if you want to learn how to believe a little bit bigger, a lot bigger, 100 Days of Believing Bigger is going to be your friend for that. But let's go ahead and jump on into what we're talking about today. Again, my name is Michelle Stimson. I am an author, speaker, educator, and a journalist that, like, for real, love journaling, learn so much from it. And so we're going to do a quick write at work today. Some of y'all are at work. Some of y'all might be someplace else. Some of y'all are catching the video later. That's totally fine. Wherever you are, just pull over for a second and have a little moment for yourself. We are writing at work. So, straight from the Marshawn Evans Daniels book, just to start off our stimulus, is a quote from the book that hit me so hard when I read it. It says, God is more committed to our trust than our talent, more committed to our character than our career. Marshawn Evans Daniels. God is more committed to our trust than our talent, more committed to our character than our career. Marshawn Evans Daniels. That comes from her book, 100 Days of Believing Bigger. I'm not going to say anything else about that. I'm going to let that sit right there in our hearts and our spirits, so that we can take it in. By the way, let's go ahead and stop right quick. I forgot to do this earlier. Let's just take a moment to breathe and a moment to show up for ourselves, like put everything else aside. I mean, it's only like 30 minutes, y'all. If we can't put aside 30 minutes for ourselves, we might need to think about that a little bit more in our lives, right? So we're going to put that other stuff aside. We're just going to take a few deep breaths in and out. Here we go. Mm. Yeah, I felt that in my shoulder. Felt that in my shoulder. And just stop right there and let that just go all through me. All right, we are back. Let me put the quote up again. God is more committed to our trust than our talent, more committed to character than our career. And that thought led me to Romans 3:8 and 29. Just the first part of it in the ESV says, for those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his son. Like his commitment to that is amazing to me. For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his son. That made me think about a couple different things. I'm gonna share this little story that I'm gonna set us free to write. A couple of weeks ago, well, I guess last month, I had my granddaughter in a braiding class, and I put her in that class not because I care so much about her learning how to braid, but for real, the experience of braiding is for real. Like you actually have frustration, you have uh messing up, you have starting over. I mean, you have a lot of things when you're first learning how to braid hair. And it is definitely um trying and like all your patience is going to be tested when you first learn how to braid, because like when you get halfway through you're going to be like, I can't finish. This is ridiculous, but then you really can't turn back because like what you going to do with at that point. So, oh, hey Laquita, and hey Tamara, thanks for joining me. um I'm glad to have you here. Okay, Tamara's gonna catch the replay. All right, all right. Um, I wanted her in that class, not because I necessarily care that she learns how to braid hair. I knew that the experience in and of itself was going to be beneficial for her. And it was, because learning you're gonna learn some patience, you're gonna learn some perseverance, you're gonna learn a lot of stuff when you braid hair. So one thing that happened in particular was she's braiding hair. She had got like 2 or 3 rows going, like with her very first try. And the lady was like, Khalees, you have to part the hair if you're gonna braid hair. Cause she was just like grabbing and braiding and like you gotta have a part when you braid hair. She didn't even say it had to be straight, but you got to at least have some kind of part when you braiding hair. And Khalees was like, what? You got a part? She was like, yes, I guess she just thought she was gonna skip that and just start braiding hair. And the lady told her to take it all down and start over, because this is not going to work if you don't part the hair. And she was so upset and so angry that she had to do that. But at the end of the day, y'all, it's not about the braids. It is about the character. It is about the perseverance. It is about the things that you learn in the process of getting to where we're getting. And it's not even about the process. It's about the conforming to this character. So, woo, when Marshawn put that in her book, for those of you who missed that, what she has said was that God is more committed to our trust than our talent. I'm gonna put that. If I can put in a comment over here, I don't know where it's gonna go, but He's more committed to our trust than our talent, more committed to our character than our career. And then we have our scripture, Romans 8:29, for those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his son, Romans 8:29 in the ESV. All right, so here come our journal prompts. Get your journal handy. Where my other journal go? See, what kind of teacher is this? But I got some paper over here. Actually, I'm sorry. I know why I don't have one, because I'm using my digital journal. The questions are going to ticker across the bottom. I'm going to read them out loud real quickly. Reflect on the quote or script or the scripture, or you can answer the question, how has God grown your character over the past 5 or 10 years? How did he do it? What do you know about God more now than you did 5 or 10 years ago? Where do you need to upgrade focus from goal to growth? That one hit me hard. What do you suspect is next on the horizon for your growth and why? And then finally, you can write an empathetic letter to your past or future self. Okay, those will be scrolling across the bottom as we are writing today. So we're about 10 minutes in, 9 minutes in. I'm gonna go ahead and get our time. I'm putting up a timer this time. I don't know how y'all gonna feel about that. But for some people, I hope it doesn't like cause you to be like, oh my goodness. And some people be like, yes, I know exactly how much time we got left. We'll just see how that goes. Thank you, Tamara. I'm glad that you found that to be powerful as well. It hit me too. But go ahead and grab your pen, go ahead and grab your paper, whatever it is you're going to be using. Let's get our timer going here. We have 10 minutes to write. 10 minutes. We've got about a minute left, so try to wrap up what you're writing, and I'm going to put on just a little music to bring us back. Okay, we are back, and we're back. Thank you for your journaling for those 10 minutes with me. If you have something that you would like to share, I'm going to have Facebook open on my um, tablet so that I can see what y'all are writing over there. If my tablet don't act right, you know what? I don't even think my tablet don't act right today. Might be my phone. But I'm going to open up so that I can see what's going on with the people and see how it is for you. Let me get over here into my Facebook page. Y'all, that journaling session right there kind of took me to another place that I wasn't ready for. I just wasn't ready for that, y'all. I wasn't ready. All right. Let me get over here into my Facebook feed so I can see what's going on with the people. For you, that y'all. I wasn't ready. All right. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Let me get over here into my Facebook. Okay. All right. Well, if I don't see anything happening over here at the moment, I will share with you all what came up for me. And definitely you're welcome to jot down, share anything else that comes up for you in the chat. When I journal face to face with folks, then I'm able to we're able to come off mute and talk and all that kind of stuff. So I'll share I'll share my what is that thing called? My QR code in just a second if you'd like to be a part of that. But what came up for me was huge in terms of a couple of things. First of all, I prayed for you. I appreciate you being here, and I pray that the Lord would open your heart and your mind to whatever you needed to hear at this time on this day. One of the first things I forgot to tell you, though, before we left into journaling was that this is not a homework assignment. I don't want you to look at this like, okay, well, I came here to get all this stuff I got to do now. Thank you very much, Michelle. I already had a bunch of stuff on my list today. That's not the plan. That's not the goal for this. This is about what God is doing in you and what God is doing in me and in us. So just be aware of that. So I answered the question of what is next in terms of what I suspect maybe next is my next character growth lesson, and it is long-term diligence. And I was not trying to hear that. But before I got discouraged about it, I was reminded of the ways that I have been building toward this idea of long-term diligence, like over time, over with diligent effort over time, things are happening. And I was not really trying to hear that, but I was reminded of where I have seen that before and where God has shown himself strong in that. But I also really needed to see, took me to the question of like, what do I need to know about God in this? Like, what is he showing me about himself in this? And the word that came up for me was the gradualness of God. Like, I know we're excited about the fast things that he does. We get excited about, instant deliverance, instant this, and all of those different things. But and he created the earth in like the world in 7 days. So that's fast, that's pretty fast. He created all these things. But over time, who he is and his character and how we get to know him is a very gradual thing often. And so I'm coming out of what I'm going to call microwave thinking and kind of jackpot thinking, that God can accelerate, but that acceleration is in line with my surrender and all those types of things. So it was an I had to really think. The Lord was really showing me in this time today, the value of the it's long-term diligence. Um, and when I put the why, it was like because it builds patience, it builds empathy, it shows peace in the midst of whatever, and joy in the midst of whatever. Like these are things that we preach about all the time at church and such. But I'm just thinking about like what does that actually mean? It's almost like heaven practice. Like there is joy and there is peace above, and we want to have that here with us as well. So it just made me think about what is it going to be for me to have long-term diligence. There are some ways that I've recognized in my writing that that this has been a lesson that I think is a very extended lesson. Like these are things that I've been that have been given to me and told to me, and I've had opportunities to practice that I refused and rejected in the past. That I have a 30-year-old situation that the Lord and I have been going back and forth on for about 30 years now. It's like how long did the Israelites go around the mountain? I don't even know how long. It was like 11 years or 40 years. I don't even know. Somebody tell me, because I know they went around the mountain a lot. And they weren't supposed to take that long to get around the mountain, like at all. But they went around a whole lot of times for a long time. Um, and but again, that gets back to the patience of God, the gradualness of God. I think every time you go around, you learn a little something different. And that's just where we are sometimes, right? So that's what had happened. All right. Well, I don't see anybody else putting anything in the chat right now. So I'm going to let y'all get back to work. Right at work Wednesday is some of us got to get right back to work, right? So thank you for joining me. Thank you for this time of togetherness, and I appreciate you. I pray that the Lord bless you and keep you until we meet again. Bye bye.